Guys, we are seeing a lot of red out there on these altcoins. I've seen BTC dominance starting to push up. It got that bounce off that weekly that we were looking at yesterday, and the alts are starting to show signs of weakness, but a lot of them now are sitting on key support levels. And the narrative out there in the crypto space currently is everyone saying this pump is over and we're now going down. So what we're going to do, I'm going to jump onto this narrative. I'm going to say, okay, cool. If we are going down, let's identify some key areas here. Let's not just say we're going down. Let's find some key areas for these altcoins that are actually viable if we do get a dump off these current levels. I'm not entirely bearish right now. We are sitting on quite strong supports in these altcoins. So I don't want to be too negative, but I want to point out a lot of these areas for you. So we're going to be talking things like DOT and ADA with their partnership today. We're looking at 𝗬𝗏, we're looking at Filecoin. I've got Injective, Solana, Link, which have actually shown a bit of strength as well today. And then we're going to go through all of your favorite coins and make sure that we tie in some key levels, because in case we do get a dump, we want to be prepared and we want to know where these best areas are that we're going to be buying. So guys, let's get right into it. I also need to deal with this tile. You'd swear I lost a bet here in the office or something. I've got blood on my head and all sorts of things going on. So hopefully you didn't scare too many people. I see in the chats there, there's a couple of comments about this tile. Yeah, I didn't mean to be too dramatic here, guys. But let's take a look and let's see where we are, and we'll figure it out from there. I see some of the guys like the tile. I know it's a little bit over the top, so forgive me for the drama. Let's take a look at BTC quickly and just get to grips with the current range and what we're playing at the moment, and then we're going to tackle a few other things. I've also got the DXY I want to deal with, and the S&P. I've started closing most of my S&P positions. So here we are, BTC 1 hour. We're playing around in this 1 hour range, and look, no surprises here. We had a little bit of science come into play here. The 618 performing for us today. We had that pullback onto support, 618 bounce again for us. So giving us a reaction we always look for on these altcoins. And what levels am I looking for now for BTC for the near future? Well, I want to look at another test of the 618. I am watching this wick next to it here at 34,480. We're going to see if they try and give us a little SFP down there, a little fake out, and maybe send us back higher. If we do lose that area, we are looking lower. We are looking deep. We are looking at 34,000. This has got tie-in on an old CME gap. It's also got tie-in on the liquidation heat map that we're looking at. So let's pull this liquidation heat map up here. You can see we've got liquidation levels down to 33,900. So things are getting a little bit lower down there. And if we pull up the CME gaps that we have over here, you can see from 34,275 down to about 34,100. We also have a CME gap. So there are a little bit of a couple of reasons why we could push a little bit lower. And if BTC does decide to do that, we want to be watching these alts and make sure that dominance is hanging around and not moving too harshly in either direction. And we want to make sure these alts are sitting on these key areas that I was talking about earlier. Let's zoom into Banter Bubbles quickly and just get a picture for what's been happening today. I mean, I see this WeMix. I haven't even had a chance to look at this thing. It's 21% down. Any of the fundamental guys out there know what WeMix is? I don't even know what it is. It's definitely something I haven't traded yet. So let me know what this is. Hopefully you didn't buy the top of the WeMix. I see CRO is performing again. That's crypto.com. The exchange token seems to be doing all right. We've got TON 7% up. CFX, one of the Chinese coins, that's performing. I think we need to take a look at that. That's often part of our discussions here. Then a lot of red for our regulars like Render, which has been doing well. I see SNX, IMX, those sort of things. And guys, don't forget, if you actually go into Banter Bubbles here and you click on the BTC logo, you can guess the price for the end of the year. And if you do 5 trades on one of our links before the 1st of January, you can win a full BTC. So you need any one of our trading links, any one of the Banter links. If you don't have a link jump in the description. There are links here for OKX, CoinW, BitGet, and Bybit in the description. And guess the BTC price. Let's actually take a look. Let's see if the bears are coming out here. I see there is a little bit of negativity now. We have like a little red candle on the alts here, and EMO is saying 30,900. Ben is now 34,000, so a little bit bearish coming out here. Let us know in the chats as well, guys. I want to know what you guys are feeling out there. I'm not feeling super bearish. I don't want to feel super bearish. Let me know what you guys are thinking. I'm keen to see your thoughts. Tom says magic roundabout. What's going on here with a magic roundabout? Okay, cool. Let's take a look at this DXY situation. This is another thing I wanted to bring to your attention. So I've exited my S&P longs at a resistance area, and I have seen now the DXY pump into resistance. So let's just take a look at this. What I would expect normally on the DXY is some kind of rejection here, and that should actually unlock the S&P to push a little bit harder. But what I am seeing is the S&P is at resistance, and just out of caution, if this DXY does blow through this area, we're going to see probably some more downside on the S&P. So I've started exiting the S&P. There is an opportunity building for a potential S&P short as well, so that is something to consider. You can see why we've got this trend resistance over here. We do have this gap, so potential little fake out over there, and then some possible downside coming. But levels for me on the S&P, they're not very deep. I'm looking at this gap fill here at 4324, and then I'm looking at the 200-day MA and this gap down here at 4244. So eyes on that right now for me. I've got one S&P long left, but yeah, I've been laddering out in the last couple of hours, and yeah, that's pretty much it for me on the longs. And then again, this DXY, you know, it's pushed back really hard. It's 50-day MA. It is horizontal. So, you know, it would be nice to see some kind of rejection there. We'll have to see how the stock market actually plays out, and that might actually give us a guide with BTC. But again, bigger picture stuff on BTC that I'm watching. Again, three-day setup here. The main levels for me are still 33,390 and this 36,000 up ahead. If we do lose this 33,390, I think we're going to get blasted. I think it will happen quite quickly, and a little flush out there, and these alts then they will drop. Quite a big move, I would say, probably a 10 to 20% move on these altcoins easily, and they're going to ping at these key reaction areas that we're going to go through now today. So I'm going to look at a couple here, start dropping the charts in the chats that you want me to look at for reaction zones in case we get this downside. The first one I have prepped for you guys is Injective. I just wanted to give you guys a picture as to what is going on. This is the weekly for Injective, and it's quite simple for me, really. We've pierced this major resistance zone on the weekly. You can see that was the high. We have now pierced it, and we want to see this area hold. So for me, the 16.6 is now an area of support for me for Injective, and you can see we are trying to hold this area now. With all this drama with BTC, it's still holding this level. If things do consolidate and these alts start bouncing, I'm still expecting a 29% move for Injective from this region. If BTC starts turning over, though, my next main area for Injective is going to be this low on the weekly candle. That's about 15.7. So I'm going to zoom in for you quickly, and just to give you a picture as to how I'm approaching this at the moment. So if we do get pullbacks, my first support zone I'm watching on this area is the 16, call it 16.4. You can see resistance 382. This is the 1 hour chart. So this is how I'd tackle it on the 1 hour. I'd look for some kind of bounce here, and then lower down we've got this 15.6 region, and you can see we do have some correlation here with supports in that region. So that's that 15.6. So if we zoom back out, for me that's a bounce zone, 15.66 for Injective. If that area gets lost, well, then you need to be patient and try and catch this thing mid 14. So those are my main areas. So if things turn over and things start looking south and we start losing these levels, there is no rush, in my opinion, until we start hitting these major areas, because we're going to have a lot of up down, but we should then end up in some of these areas. Let's take a look at Link. 200-week MA rejection for Link. This is one of the targets we looked at yesterday. We had that nice little resistance. We broke up, we retested, and we sent Link. 200-week MA was our target. It did ping, and it's now rejecting. Upside target is still 14.5. But now I want to look at major areas for Link if BTC starts falling over? Well, for me, there really is only one big zone right now, and this is this massive weekly area at 9.5 that Link took months and months to break through. So let's just zoom out just to give you a picture as to what's going on. I don't really expect Link to jump much lower than that region if we do get some kind of pullback, and I think it's going to make for a great buy area for all the bulls out there. So if we do get that push, look at around 9.5, that's going to be a solid zone, and that's going to tie in with like BTC really looking bleak, like with that blood on my head in that picture. That's how we're going to be feeling when we get down there. But remember, that's going to be an opportunity to get stuck into things like Link. So mark this on your charts, put your alarms on. 9.5 is the major zone. So it might happen in your sleep if we get a capitulation or anything like that. But that's going to be a big reaction zone for me, and that's what I'm looking out for on Link. Here's Solana on the daily, a great performer again. Sol, there were a lot of people calling shorts for Sol down back to 30, all sorts of things, but surprisingly it's held really well. We see FTX, they are selling some more Sol. There's been a bit of negativity around it with the selling. They were saying it was overhyped, and a lot of the guys are shorting Sol, and look how nicely it's holding at the support region. So for me, there's no panic here for Sol. We've got a nice little flag forming right now for Sol. Look down to 38 as support. I wouldn't panic. Any downside on BTC tied in with Sol, 38 is still an area I'm watching. And then if we do dip lower, I'm still looking at this 34 and 35 region. So I want to zoom in for you quickly and just give you a little mini picture. This is the 1 hour. And these are some levels that you can look at on the lower time frames now. So if BTC has a gentle move, let's say down to that 34 region, we should be okay on Sol, 618, and lower down here at this 38 level. So just another one for the scientists out there. 618 pullback again for Sol. We had that push up, 618. Bounce, 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 and here we go. So Sol is actually looking okay right now. I have been tracking it in this flag. We're going to see if we get a move. If BTC starts reversing, maybe we reversing to the upside, maybe we're going to get a little bit of Sol action here. So that is on my watch list today. Then let's look at something like DOT. I mean, we did see ADA and DOT. They've got some partnership going here. It's the marriage of two shit coins, or whatever the story is. They've now joined forces in shit coinery to do whatever they need to do. And I thought, well, let's take a look at the chart now while everyone's talking about it. So somehow they're working together. I'm not sure on the fundamentals, but you can see the ADA people love this one. They pumped this 16%. They were very excited about this news coming, and now it's drifting back lower. So maybe there was a little exit pump for some of the ADA bag holders there, announcing that partnership. You can see rejection in our reaction area. Look at that. These reaction zones, guys, and they work the same both ways. They work the upside and downside, and that's why I'm pointing these things out for you, because if we do get these dumps, these are these areas you want to be watching. So here's my first reaction area for ADA, 0.324. So stick your alarms on there. And then lower down, we've got the 200-day MA and the 618 at 0.295. So I quite like a move down to that area. If we do get the chance, I'd say that's a nice little buy zone for ADA. And remember, the 618 is a pretty big move, but we do know by the time we get to these 618s, these altcoins are tired. They're tired of being sold. And we often get beautiful reversals there at the peak of our bearishness when we're really feeling depressed. You often find that we're sitting at these 618s and these alts, and then we get those reversals. So mark these on your charts. Even on the charts you're watching, just mark them on yours, set your alarms. These things do come into play more often than not. Let's take a look at XRP. Again, reaction zone for me, XRP. Yesterday, we were looking at this XRP pump. What did we get? 618 rejection. I think we did identify that it was a possible rejection area. And now we are in reaction zone down here. It's 0.66. You can see how it's reacting. So for me, this is support for XRP right now. BTC is going to fall over. Well, then, guys, we want to try and grab XRP at 0.616. That's my next reaction zone. And then the big dog. I mean, this is huge down here, 0.54. I'm not sure if we'll get this lucky. But we've got the 50-day MA, the 200-day MA, the 200-week MA, the 100-day MA, and the 618 and horizontal. If XRP doesn't bounce here, I'm retiring. There's no ways it's not going to react and bounce on that zone. So if we do go down there, look for it. 0.545, that's an area. Put an alarm on, maybe a sneaky limit order on your exchange. And you never know. Maybe in the dead of the night, you get that ping, little capitulation move. MVP is looking for Lena. Love that Lena token. I think it was on the 50-day MA a couple of minutes ago. So we're going to take a look at Lena. It might be bouncing now. Let's take a look at CAS. Another one showing strong signs, guys. I wanted to try and tackle at least something that's a little bit bullish for us today and maybe get us an entry. So here we are with CAS. You know the story with CAS. CAS and I used to hate each other. Now we're very good friends. We've had some good moves out of CAS. I'm sure Simon's very happy about that. But now CAS, we were looking for this flag to develop after that nice move. I was looking for something like that. And what you can do for the bulls out there is take a look at some kind of flag on the 15 minutes or the hour, and you can try and track these moves and these breakouts. So what I've done here for you guys on the 15 minutes for CAS, let's just take a look here. We do have some degree of support now at 0.065. So that is your first line of support you want to watch. Resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. So once we break higher and we get that support, there could be a nice little move coming for CAS. So keep that on your watch list, and then lower down support 0.0635. That's my next sort of major support region for the scalpers out there. Kenneth says Mana is drooping. I'm guessing that means it's dumping. Maybe we'll take a look at that one too. I wanted to bring a gaming token to your attention, PYR. Also, just an example as to, you know, is the excitement over? Is this move over? Here's the PYR on the weekly. I see there's a massive move coming on here. This thing's moved down a little bit, I think, since I looked at this a few minutes back. So this is the weekly PYR chart. Major resistance zone. You know, if you've been watching us, we've been tracking this thing for ages now, and we were calling longs down here at these range lows when everyone was terrified, thinking it was going to go down lower. But you know what this was? Major weekly support. And when you push up into major weekly resistance, you get these types of reactions. So here we are, the complete opposite now. We're on the major weekly resistance, and this is what we're getting. But all is not lost here for the bulls, because I have another major weekly support zone in play right now. So let's see how bearish things get here. But I'm quite a fan of PYR, and this is the weekly chart. So probably suited to the spot buyers here. But 4.5 to 4.6 might be a nice little grab here on PYR, considering what we're looking at. And if we're assuming that this is how it reacts on these weekly candles, this is what we're going to go for. So I'd like to see a little move like that. And that'll give us a nice little push up into resistance again, and then we can deal with that later. But it's probably about a 15 to 16% move we could grab here on PYR. So definitely interesting to me. 4.6. I'm actually going to set an alarm now on PYR. So there we are. Okay, so I'm going to get pinged on PYR, guys. If anything news happens there, we'll try and notify you in the Banter Discord. And we'll keep you posted on PYR. Guys, what else is happening here? Let's see what other tokens here. I see there's Cake, Rose. Yeah, guys, let's take a look at some of these. We've got to get these levels right. And then I've got Dave and Bruce here as well. They're talking. Dave's talking about possible pumps into areas where we can get a short. So maybe we're going to push off some of these supports that we're on now. And then Bruce has also got, he's watching Sol, I believe, and he's also got a BLZ set up, and we haven't done BLZ in ages. So that's going to be nice. Okay, let's take a look at Marty wants to see some band, and AL wants to see some Rose. So let's get Rose and what did we say? Rose and AI. Let's take a look here. I'm going mad. ENJ, LTC, CRV. Okay, let's start with Rose. Again, you never really want to panic when you're reaching major support areas. But I can see now, okay, let's take a look. This is looking interesting. Rose is losing a key level here. Okay, so we have bounced on this area a few times, and Rose looks like it wants to push lower now. So what we need to look out for is this candle close below this region, and then that might trigger or might signal to us that Rose is going to want to start making its way down to this next area here. So this is a big area. we've got a 3.8, the old 3.82 here. We've got horizontals, and we've got a trend retest. So let's just play it step by step. Let's watch this 8-hour candle now. If it starts dropping lower, we're going to look at 0.055 as the next major region that I can spot here for rows. So mark that on your chart, get your alarm in there. Looks like a good area, and should be a long opportunity in this region. And then you would just look for a range play. You'd look for that bounce. So yeah, I mean, there's a potential 15% move or something like that coming. You just need to be patient. So, you know, this might not play out quickly, could take some time. But yeah, that's a nice area for me. Let's look at this mana panic as well. Let's see if it's worth the panic. Look here. Okay, that is a nice candle. It's a nice pullback candle, but this might be an opportunity for us. Let's take a look. Okay, so we are drifting lower. This was an area we looked at previously, horizontal and 200-day MA. Let's see if we've got some fib action here. Okay, so the 382 is a little bit lower down. So you got a long way to go, guys. I wouldn't panic just yet. It depends obviously on how you're trading and your type of leverage and things like that. But there's a nice juicy little zone here on Mana Decentraland here, 0.376 and the 200-day MA. That's a hot zone for me. So that is my first point, or my first area of interest. Let's say we do drift lower. That's where we start looking for longs. Horizontal 200-day MA 382. And yeah, we'll deal. If we lose that area, we'll look for new ones. But right now, I wouldn't panic on Decentraland until it starts losing that 200-day MA. I think you've got time. MDOS wants to short RUNE. I'm going to leave some of these short setups for Dave. He's coming in shortly. Oh, GALA's diving, according to Kenneth. Okay, so some of these gaming tokens that have been pumping so nicely look like they are falling over. Let's take a look here. Okay, so again, nothing to panic about here. Always, guys, when you're feeling a little bit stressed, just zoom out. You know, don't panic at these situations. We look for our next level, and you look for your areas. So there's nothing to panic about here yet. We've identified these hot zones already for GALA, and a lot of these tokens, a lot of the tokens we go through, we have spoken about them. So GALA, for me, you start looking at long opportunities, 0.0183, that sort of area. You can see how I've done it. We've got some horizontals there. We've got trend. We've got fibs. It looks like a reaction zone for me. And then you start drifting down there and you lose that. You've got quite a nice easy play here at 0.016. And there's the 50-day MA coming up as well, bringing things together nicely here. So two very solid areas for me for GALA that I like. So yeah, no panics yet. 0.0183 and 0.0163 are support areas to watch. Okay, let's get the guys in here. Dave,
what's going on?
Try to give you a round of applause there. There we go. I pushed the round of applause button. I never know if it works or not. Bruce, double round of applauding you. Yeah, I don't even know.
You gotta check these polls, man.
So sure, busy day out there. I see we've been sitting on these supports. Some of them are losing now. So yeah, things are getting spicy out there, but definitely not panic stations yet. You know, there's nothing to panic about here. Let's Bruce, tell me about this BLZ. Are you in it? Or are you looking?
Well, no, I'm not in it. And actually, I'm 50-50 on it. So let me show you what I got.
Okay, I'm pulling up your chart. And then there's a possible SOL that you were looking at as well, right?
Well, I was in SOL, but I've got a couple of shorts, a couple of things that are forming up, and I got to go over TOMO because I've been yelled at for the last couple of days by people going like, "How come I haven't done TOMO?" So indulge us.
TOMO is still a coin though. Maybe Rodolfo knows a bit about TOMO.
It's
called Viction. They've rebranded it. It's the same blockchain, the same smart contract, but they're rebranding it. And I'm pretty guessing one of the founders sold off a lot, which is what caused the big dump. But it's being rebranded with a whole new Web3 mission. Looks really cool, but we'll see.
I see Kenneth is shouting bullback. So, you know, if you get a pullback in a bull market, it's a bullback. I wonder who coined that phrase. I actually love it. I love that saying. I'm going to use that.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm actually kind of hoping we get a real pullback because I didn't get into a lot of my long-term dollar cost average holding spots. And so a good, like RUNE was one of them. If it pulls back decently, I'll get a decent long-term entrance, which is what I'm hoping for. But anyway, BlueZell.
Yeah, let us see.
So BlueZell is actually set up for a perfect long right now, right? So we had a pump, we broke through a resistance area, topped out at that area right over there, came back and retesting this blue area as support, and right above the 618. The problem is the fact that the market is kind of being pissy right now, and BlueZell isn't as sensitive to Bitcoin as a lot of coins. So I'm going to watch this right in that area, right at the 618, which is 0.26362, which is where it is right now. And if it pushes below this trend line, I'll change my bias to a potential short, especially if it cracks the 618 line. But if it holds this, in spite of what the market does, then we're really at a great entrance for a long right here. I mean, it really is gorgeous. And if we went Bitcoin...
we can see these alts, guys, they are dipping and dominance is pumping. So BTC is hardly moving, dominance is going up, which obviously means they're exiting a lot of these altcoins. So this is obviously, if you're not in a position, this is a gift now. You're going to get areas. If you are in a position, you're sweating bullets now. You're watching levels.
Exactly.
It's part of the game. It's part of the game.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to take a long, I would have I would give this no room at all personally to muck around, because if it's going to go down, it's going to go down. But like I said, BlueZell is one of the handful, like TRB and et cetera, that don't necessarily, and WLD, that don't necessarily tag along with Bitcoin. So a long right here would be great. Stop loss right below the trend line, right below the 618, and then a possible pump right up to that resistance level, which should be at about 343.
Okay, nice. And that might tie in with a dominance reversal on the 1 hour. I'm just watching dominance on the 1 hour here. So 1 hour, it's got a little bit more to go, and then we might get the little bump in dominance there. So we're going to keep track on that as well.
And I wanted to just show TOMO because everyone's asking. So it's called VIC now. And you all remember this nonsense that happened. I actually kind of assumed it would take a bounce from here like tokens do. And sure enough, let me zoom in so you can see how funny this is. And sure enough, it did. Except, look at that. It was like up, down in about 7 seconds and then gave up the ghost. So clearly there is no real support for it right now. I think people are trying to figure out what's going on with the company, with the technology, etc. But it lost the 200-day moving average. So right there, and this candle kind of made it. I thought it was going to bounce from here eventually before the show started, but in the last couple of minutes that happened. So I'm kind of thinking we're probably going to end up down around this level, 1.16, before we gain momentum. So if you want to take a short there, which is looking actually pretty good, I would wait for this to retrace back up. It's got a pretty good trend line there. Wait for it to retrace back up to that trend line and back up to what is now resistance. And then you can have a short. It's not quite ready yet, obviously, but you can have a short that looks something like that. And I will put some triggers on this in our Discord, because this is what I want to follow. But that would be a nice healthy short from here down about 8-9%.
Yeah, so guys, just a reminder, we don't generally, it's obviously you do whatever you need to do, but if you're shorting into major support areas, it's tricky because often that is at the height of the move down, people are ultra bearish, then we get these reversals. That's why we always talk about if you lose an area and you pump back into it and create resistance, that becomes your short zone. Because it's tricky. I mean, a lot of the time when you're feeling so bearish and you're shorting on to support, you often get a bounce. So just take note of how you're feeling at the time when you want to be short, and just play it strategically. Obviously, sometimes you're short on support, breaks right through, it goes down, and you hit your wins. But a percentage wise, and if you want to be consistent about it, you want to look for these retests of old support once they get broken. So it's the same principle when we long, we look for the break, we look for the retest. It's exactly the same principle.
And what I would look for right here is I'd look for it to break that low right there, right? If it breaks that low, then pushes back up into what is now resistance, that'd be a much more secure trade, short.
Okay. So yes, guys, just a little bit of patience, long and short. Just an update on CAS. I see CAS is still pushing into that resistance, so just keep your eyes on CAS. In the meantime there, guys. Dave, I'm going to bring you on shortly. I've seen a lot of comments about people wanting to short RUNE. I think you're potentially a little bit late. Let me show you why. RUNE is now rejected at this resistance zone. It was 3.6. It's now dipping into a support area at 3. So I'm expecting some kind of reaction here from RUNE at 3. I can't tell you how high, but I can tell you we should get a reaction there. So for the shorters, if you are shorting now, you are shorting to roughly a reaction at about 3.04. So just keep that in mind when you're looking, on your risk reward for your short. That's a hell of a candle. So potentially that. And then the next area for me is 382 with a little cluster of horizontal. So about 2.8 is your next area for RUNE. So if you're shorting now, guys, you are trying to short after a move. We've been drifting low already. You've missed the original move. So you are a late shorter, if that makes sense. So just play it safe. You can get hammered both ways. Fahad is loving TRB today. He says it's still showing strength. And Jay wants to know Omni. Bruce, can you chart Omni for Jay? That would be great.
I can. Omni for Jay. Omni J. Got it.
Okay, Dave.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us about some shorts. Not short.
Yes. So just real quick of where we're at in Bitcoin. We are in the, keep in mind, we are in the New York session. I typically like to play some games. This is the bottom of the Keltner channel. And I have an alert personally at 34.5. And this 34.450 is a very important area. It's a key area. If we lose this area, then yes, a lot of these shorts are going to play out massively. I watched Sheldon's show this morning, and he's expecting some big pullbacks to the 618 regions. So I think the max pain situation is we go up here, which is not too much, like 2.5%. We may not get it, but I am looking for that situation. And with that being said, I'm looking at a Solana short. So just kind of ping-ponging a little bit there with you, Dylan. You said you'd like to see a little bit higher, a little bit of a pump. And so if we take a Fibonacci from the top here of the high of Solana at 46.91, and we bring it down to the bottom here, this sniper zone region is right here at 43.49 and 43.78. So I have an alert here already, and I think that ties in with the Bitcoin scenario. If we do have a little pump here, I think Solana's going to have a little pump here, but like you guys were saying on the show, you want to get Solana at 32.34. I think that would be, you were even saying 38 right now. That's a 15% move. So I think that would be a nice short. A couple other ones that I'm looking at is Atom. So you can see Atom has climbed pretty high on the staircase here. And if you turn on Lux Algo on the 8-hour, not only both Lux Algo indicators, but we have two heavy order blocks here. You could already see that we rejected off the first order block. But with the scenario that I'm seeing with Bitcoin, I'd like to see it get a little bit higher before the real rejection. We may have already missed it. I don't know, but I have this on my radar here. And if you guys want to set some alerts with me, I think like 8.885 would be good. Maybe the top of this order block here, but you can already see it's rejecting off the moving average here. RSIs are curving down as well. So like I said, we may have missed it. I don't know, but I'm looking for that scenario with Bitcoin, that little rise before the big drop. One that is interesting. Oh, go ahead.
No, carry on.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention too. Let me turn on the Flux algo, but you can see on the 8 hour, guys, we're at this red cloud. So, you know, what is the target? I would say, you know, from the very bottom here to the very top, you can see how the 618 sniper region ties in perfectly with the moving average. That would be a banger long entry and take profits, in my opinion. So just some things to be aware of. I'm going to set alert here as a potential long entry, take profit entry if we can get into the Atom short. One that's interesting is YGG. Somebody mentioned it yesterday. Hey, can you, I charted it real quickly and noticed a massive pump. And then this morning I noticed that there was like an 8% move to the upside or 10% move to the upside, and then already like a 10% retrace. So to me, that is a bearish kind of thing. And you know, paying attention to all these gaming tokens taking massive dips like IMX, Immutable X, like who would have thought this weekend it would have had a massive pump and now it's like a massive dump. So if that's the theme, if gaming tokens are having huge pumps and then huge dumps, I think YGG is the next on the block here. So I did start a small shorter position here, short position at 33.31. So just a starter position, but my goal is to add another, have another order here, like at this wick here, 36.97. And I think it's going to top out there. You can also see that this was an order block on YGG. You can see back around August 10th, you know, August region 10th through the 14th, it struggled a lot here. And now we're, you know, kind of sticking our neck above there. And I think we're going to come back down. So with YGG, I think a 3X is probably your safe bet here, especially those that are new to trading. Again, we don't need to get too greedy here. If we take a Fibonacci from the bottom to the top, nice target would be the sniper zone region. So from where we're at now, even if we hit another order at the top side here, and that would also fall in line with the Bitcoin scenario. If Bitcoin has this little pump, YGG is probably gonna have a little last chance of a fighting pump before the move down. But I think, you know, we're looking at like a 15% move for YGG. And I wanted to share this one because I got super excited last night just scrolling through tokens. I had a scenario, I don't know if you guys remember me charting this 3 or 4 weeks ago, probably 3 weeks ago, but I had a scenario where it could have played the rise to the top part of the channel. And then this drawing here, this is actually something I left. I had not touched it from the drawing, the original drawing. It's kind of playing out right now. And you can see that we're in this rising wedge on the higher time frames. We lost the trend. And what I'm looking for is a retest, which also falls in line with the Bitcoin scenario that I talked about, to touch up here to take that massive short. And you can see there's order blocks right here as well. So if you guys want to set some alerts with me, like at 14.20, 14.23, 27, whatever, this little area here, I think that would be a perfect entry for the short on Maker. And, you know, we're looking at a 20% drop. So something like this, you know, again, small leverage, nothing too crazy, but I am seeing a bigger move to the downside here with Maker.
Yeah, I like the look of that Maker. I was looking at it earlier. Yeah, I mean, I think, look, we've had the initial move now. So now we could expect some green. We've seen some altcoins now have hit new areas where we could get potential bounces. I just saw Lena bounced off a 618. I just saw NEAR bounced off horizontal. So yeah, potentially for shorting. Let's look at this poll. I'm looking at this poll right now that we did here. The question was, are we shorting? And 42% are long from here. That was 10 minutes ago before the last dump. Any bounces here for shorting? I like the sound of that. I like the sound of that. And then some people don't even know what this is. They said, what are you talking about? What is this thing? Yeah, so that's where we are at the moment. I wanted to show you guys one more thing. Oh yes, I wanted to talk to you about 𝗥𝗲𝗀𝗽. Guys, if you go to the description under the video over here, there's the 𝗥𝗲𝗀𝗽. You see we use 𝗥𝗲𝗀𝗽 all the time. For those of you that don't know what it is, it's an indicator we use. It's a paid service. There is a link for 𝗥𝗲𝗀𝗽. You get 30% off if you use the code in the description on Lux Algo. And then while we're talking about links and things, there is a BitGet special on margin trading currently. So they are running a promotion till the 10th of November, so a couple days left. It's for margin trading. So you grab the BitGet link in the description if you don't have a BitGet link, and they are giving up cash rewards for margin traders. So not the futures, the margin trading. So there is a difference there. So take a look at BitGet. The link is in the description. Nice. And with regards to Lux Algo, it's the first 30 days. If you're not happy with it, you send it back. They give you your money back. So it's a risk-free play here for you guys. If you see that it adds value to you, you can see we use it in a lot of the things we do. And it's become an integral part of how we trade and how we find our setups. Okay, enough of that. Let's look at NEAR. I've got requests for NEAR. So NEAR's just had a horizontal bounce. So we were talking, I think, well, all of us were talking, and the whole crypto world was talking about Solana money moving into NEAR. We've got NEARCon today, and NEAR's just dumping into NEARCon. We were expecting a little bit more, to be fair. So right now, NEAR has hit our third level. This is our horizontal and trend now. So this is a potential bounce area for NEAR that I'm looking at. I don't have fib action here, unfortunately, but I do have this horizontal. So this is a notable area for NEAR. I expected more. NEARCon. I got stopped out of my NEAR long. I bought it twice. I bought the first retest. I bought the second retest, and they stopped me out of that one. So now I'm sitting here thinking maybe I'm going to grab a little scalp here. This is a horizontal and a trend of interest, but the move is only a few percent. We're looking at 3.7% to trend. And if these pumps are for shorting, well, these are the areas we're going to look for potential shorts at resistance areas. So watch NEAR over here. Horizontal trend, look for this push up into this trend. Look for the push up into this region. If we do get bullish here suddenly on NEAR and there's an announcement, which I'm still not discarding, there might be an actual announcement at NEARCon. We saw Solana just absolutely ripped. So let's see how we go on NEAR. I'm not giving up just yet, but I am annoyed. I am a bit salty that I got to stop.
It's like they watch your show. They're like,
yeah, they were watching. They knew they were going to stop it. Okay, Casey says almost on the 382 for the daily fib. Okay, cool, Casey. Thanks, man. I didn't spot that one. But yeah, if we're nearly there, then your areas are tying in, your horizontal, your trend, those sort of things. And a little bit lower down, we've got the 200-day MA just cruising down here at 1.35. So that's another notable. Litecoin, that's a good one. I am still in Litecoin, so I'm assuming you guys are in Litecoin as well. Sheldon's still in Litecoin. Let's check the current Litecoin situation. Always looks so dramatic on the 15 minutes. Let's just zoom out and see where we are here. Okay, grand scheme of things, not panic stations yet. We're just doing a typical retest of horizontals. So right now, nothing to really worry about. Litecoin, this is still in play. So far so good. Litecoin, we've got horizontal and trend. Let's get some fib action going here. 382 bounce if we pull from there, so that looks decent. So yeah, that pull over there is a 382 reaction. That pull I don't have any tie in right now, but for me, watch the levels, watch the horizontal, watch the trend, and you should be okay there. Black Sale says Litecoin to 110. Well, that would be nice. Because probably by now my extra orders have kicked in. It's probably bought some more. So that would be lovely. Mustn't go much deeper than this though. Okay, Christian wants to know about 𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗶, and I've also got Filecoin for you. Those two run together, or they're supposed to run together. There was good news on 𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗶 last week, and the price showed that people enjoyed the news. I think there was transactions and all sorts of things like that increasing on 𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏. We have now lost this resistance zone. So 6.99, we need to see this candle close above this area and then start pushing up if that's going to hold. Otherwise, we're looking at the situation now where we could just get that pump into resistance and then that move. And it's very simple. It's a clear range that we can play in. That's why we love these altcoins level by level. There's a clear defined range here for us. And your next bounce area, 6.13 for 𝗪𝗲𝗃𝗃. So put an alarm on. If we do get some more downside here, that's your first area you want to start. You just want to start poking around, see what's going on there. That's a 382 and horizontal. You should get something decent there on 𝗪𝗃𝗃. And this is assuming we get more downside now. Let's take a look at Filecoin. Also been a great performer. Nice little pump into resistance, little rejection there, 4.48. And we've lost our first support. So this is the one I was eyeing out today. This horizontal here. So we're just dipping below, and it's starting to look a little bit like 𝗪𝗃𝗃, losing a bit of that support there, dipping a little bit below. 200-day MA coming in hot though at 4 with horizontal. So yeah, not the end of the world for me. If we get Filecoin down at 4, I quite like that zone. It's not too bad. Let's look at some new fibs here. I just want to get a new pool. So yeah, 4 looks like a good region. If we're going to stay bullish there, and there's a 382 backup. Okay, so yeah, for me this is a hot zone. 3.95 to 4 for Filecoin. That's a buy area for me. Okay, so Filecoin and 𝗪𝗃𝗃 both looking decent, both showing some strength, and that's where you want to be, guys. 4 to 3.9. That's definitely an area I'm interested in. Dr. Crypto says, smash the likes for these chaps. Guys, don't forget to subscribe as well, please. We're trying to get, what are we on? We're on 99,000 or something like that. We want to get to 100,000 subscribers. And then also you get notified when we go live. As you can see lately, we have been changing the times a little bit. So some of you got lost last week, didn't know that I'd moved an hour back. And here we are. So don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to like. Okay.
So Dylan, I got a question for you. People in the school have asked me, the fact that, when markets are going up, when markets are going down, you manage to stay amazingly centered and calm. And the question people ask me all the time is, how the hell do you do that? Because everyone reacts so emotionally.
Guys, you know what? Trading is very stressful and it's not for everybody. But the best thing you can do for yourself is zoom out and just take a look at the bigger picture. And most importantly, if you're getting really stressed out of trading, your leverage is probably too high, or your position size is probably too big, that it's stressing you out so much. It should be a fun experience. A lot of people trade for a hobby. It should actually be fun. It shouldn't turn into a super stressful scenario. So if your position size is too big, you're probably asking for trouble there. And I'm glad you asked me, Bruce, because I actually wanted to bring up some trading psychology stuff. And this is a guy that I follow, Steve Burns.
Oh, cool.
He drops a lot of nuggets and just things. And, it's good to read his tweets. He's also on Instagram. I read a lot of his stuff.
Who is that, Dylan?
His name is Steve Burns.
Okay.
He's got 500,000 followers on Twitter. He's doing something right. But yeah, a lot of trading is psychology, guys. You need to manage that psychological side of things. How do you feel when you are underwater? How do you feel when your position is under and you're staring at negative $1,000 P&L or something like that? How do you react to that? Do you panic close it, or do you zoom out? Do you look at your areas? Do you back your levels? Do you have a system for yourself that creates those levels? If you don't have a system for yourself, you shouldn't really be trading. So, stick with us. You can see how we go about our business. It doesn't mean we are the gospel and this is how you do it. This is how we do it. This is what works for us. We are sharing knowledge with you. When I started trading, I wish I had somebody to watch that taught me about high impact areas and big reaction zones. I just didn't understand it. And I was trading at the wrong areas. I was jumping in too early. I was exiting too late, all those types of things. So a lot of it is practice. It's get your system in play, understand the psychology behind it, understand that it's a big mental game. We draw lines on charts. Exactly. If I have a bias this morning that I want to be long, fuck me, I'm going to show you that we are going to be long. If I have a bias that I want to be short, I'm going to show you why we're going to be short. It's what you're telling yourself. And most importantly, guys, risk management. But reasonable risk management. I'm not saying the minute a candle drops, exit your position because you were wrong on a 5-minute candle. You're going to wreck yourself doing that. You're going to wreck yourself mentally doing that. You need to maybe trade less, trade smaller positions, bigger moves, zoom out a little bit, bigger stop losses, and relax. Like play with the kids, have dinner, don't stress on the phone. trading 15 minutes. We've been there. I've been there myself. It's not good for the brain.
Yeah. Or sleep.
And when you start trading, it's so exciting, but you panic a lot. And you spend a lot of time on your phone. You wake up at 2 a.m. What do? You open your phone to check your positions. We've all been there, guys. I've done that. I did that for ages, and eventually at some point you wake up and you say, fuck, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And then you start getting a system in place and you start doing things. And that's why we created this crypto banter hub where I put these charts. And again, David is a prime example. He won the Bybit competition, with excellent trading psychology. He's mastered the mental aspect of sitting in literal hell, watching his positions bleed out and doing what he does. But he did it using Sniper School, and he did it using the charts that we supplied in the banter Discord. So, and these are very much the charts that you see on these shows, guys. So it helped expedite his trading and that sort of stuff. Okay.
He was a good guy, and it was a good roadmap for sure. These charts.
But it's worked for David. He was missing a certain aspect to his trading system. He'd mastered the psychology, but he was missing a couple of other things. We solved that for him. And he won the Bybit comp. So you don't get a better result than that.
I can do it. You guys can do it.
Yeah, 100%. And I think there's a school cohort tonight. I think it's the last one.
Oh, yeah. Make sure you guys don't miss that one.
Oh, my gosh. So
the
exciting.
last one for the year.
Yeah.
So, I think there's a week you can still get in, but the first call is tonight. I think there's 3,000 people dealing or getting in tonight, listening tonight. So, okay,
amazing.
Guys, enough coaching and lecturing. We've got a few minutes left. Let's look at 𝗪𝗁𝗪𝗏. Adrian saying, please, boys, give us ARB. And Bruce, what was that Omni coin that you were looking at that I asked you to look at?
They asked about Omni. I'm not sure I got the right one, but I can show you what I got.
Okay, let me just cover this 𝗪𝗁𝗪. Okay, so right out the gates here, 𝗪𝗁𝗪 200-day MA. As support for now. Okay, so that's always a good reaction. Let's see if we've got some kind of tie-in for it. Okay, let's readjust these fibs here. This 382 is such a hot zone if we lose the current area. Okay, 𝗪𝗁𝗪. You got 382, you got horizontal 0. We'll call it 1 on the button. 1. If you lose this 200-day MA and horizontal, which I think should be okay here. Horizontal, this is daily stuff. So these candles are worth something. 200-day MA. Look at that. 1.04 current support. If this does push up, you're just looking at your next resistance band. So you can see it's under this cluster over there. You just want to look for solid zones where you're going to get that reaction. That TP area, where you're not sure it's going to break through, those type of areas. So this is your mini range right now for 𝗪𝗁𝗪. So it's that guy to that guy. It's an 8% mini range. And look for the bounce here, 200-day MA horizontals. And then one step lower, 382 at 1. Okay, Bruce, show us this.
So Jay just got back to me and said, it's not Omni, because I'm looking at Omni going like, what is that thing? It made no sense. The chart made no sense and the token made no sense, but he told me it was already just now. So we're going to do this together, guys. So we've got a support level there. We've got a clear support level there. And this thing was bounced right off of this not long ago in one huge pump. We got ourselves a trend line. Right, this is, guys, how you do it in real time. You can take a fib from this last pump and see where it's up. Okay. So, after a long, I haven't looked back in time much. And this is on the daily chart, by the way. This thing leaked all the way down to finally find support at 3.4, let's call it. And it started to pump up. It broke through that level that it was in, that range that it was in before. Broke through this, and now let's go to the 4-hour because we'll see that it's come back and it's retesting that support level. So if this level holds right there, that's the 236. If this pump is really valid, and again, I know nothing about this token and I have no history on it, but if this is really a valid pump and it follows Bitcoin or doesn't follow Bitcoin, then that'd be a great place to pump from. But I would personally watch this because with Bitcoin kind of getting salty right now, I'd like to see this thing potentially make a drop to the 382 or even better, come find its way back down to this trend line before continuing again. So I would be cautious in this because I don't know it. But if you do know the token better and you think it's going to bounce at the 236, then it's right there right now.
Bruce. I'm looking at the CFX. I mean, wow. There was some big selling last week when we were watching it dip. I was looking for that entry and it reversed. Look at this.
Yeah, quite the recovery.
Yeah.
We were looking for this entry lower down and they front ran this major zone here. This 1.37. Now we're back at resistance. So we just need to be a little bit careful here. But CFX was a performer today. I think, yeah, look, we can hunt these bullish tokens. They seem to be performing in spite of the market. Let's take a look at this 15 minutes here and see what's actually going on. Okay, running out of steam. Okay, getting a little bit tired now. So I would just be careful on CFX now. We are at major resistance on the daily. I'm not seeing any 15-minute excitement there just yet. There is daily support that you can look at under the daily candle, obviously. 0.1658, that's the 12 hour. Let's look under the daily. Yeah, it's a long way down at 0.16. It's a long way down, you know, if you're trying to be long. So just be careful. But your only first real support is this daily 0.16. But yeah, possible range play up here. 200-day MA is your target. But you've got to find support here. You need to get the support first before you go. Otherwise, you're playing with fire a little bit. Yeah. Wild Salamanca asked about Link. We did do Link at the beginning. 200-week MA rejection. We did highlight some supports for Link that we're watching. If it's going to blow earlier or wants to push on higher, you got to pull out those 15-minute setups there and see if you can catch some kind of break. The main support for me on Link was lower down. Latino wants to know about INJ. We also did that. That was one of the first ones we covered, so there should be some time spent there. Guys, let's just do ICP for Luba. Luba the bear. We know she likes shorting.
Luba the bear.
Let's see what we got here. Oh, 200-day MA. Looks like, what was that other one we pulled out a second ago? 200-day MA support. You see, when you get these dumps onto nice support zones, you don't need to panic that hard because we are just moving down into a support area. It's when we start losing those areas and closing below that you start having to fighting and looking at lower areas. But yeah, right now, that's okay. This is your main buy zone. If you want to play this range, you can see the buys up here as 3.95. So, and they try to push it up here as well. Okay, so watch this area, 3.95. But right now, 200-day MA coming into play here nicely. See how you go. And then the next area are these supports, 3.8. And then you're looking at 3.45. So it's it's here or it's later. Yeah, it's right here or you've got to wait it over. Jakes, we did ADA. We covered ADA. There was some news on ADA and DOT. They pumped. ADA turned around a little bit. Farhad bringing some exotics out here. FLM.
Flamingo.
Yeah.
Chinese token, I believe. Chinese finance token or DeFi or something. Okay, let's wipe this thing. Look, you can see what Flamingo does. It's a tricky one to be in leverage on Flamingo, though, because of the type of pumps and dumps. You can get hurt very badly. So maybe this is something you want to be in a spot type position and wait for that big move and have some preset sell orders. because you can see what it does, but it's hard to sell the top. What are the odds that you're going to be in front of your PC or your phone at the right time when it pumps? So it's something you kind of want to grab spot if you're making an assumption that we're going to get another pump, and then you can get these moves 160%, 46%, those type of things. I do like how it reacts off this 200-day MA. So maybe if it comes down again, 50-day MA as well coming into play here, could be worth a look. But spot stuff, guys. This is not, you don't want to be leveraging this stuff. You can get rinsed both ways. Okay, guys, we need to wrap it up. Again, thanks. That was fun as usual. Yeah, guys, watch out. Watch these levels. Let's just summarize quickly what we're looking at again. BTC is holding this 618. So right now we are okay. The lower region is 34, and you want to keep your eyes on dominance, which is now rejecting. Okay, the dominance on the 1 hour is rejecting a little bit, so it should be giving these alts a little bit of breathing room at these areas. But again, some of them are on critical levels, like Ethereum. Let me show you Ethereum quickly one more time. You can see this dominance is rejecting. Ethereum is something you need to pay attention to. It's just hanging on to this 1860 region that we're watching, and that for me was a break of trend and a retest. It's just holding on. Okay, so if ETH doesn't send it up here now, these alts are probably going to feel a bit of heat. And then for ETH, we're looking at 1825 and we're looking at 1780. Those are your areas for ETH. If this area doesn't hold, it's now or never, really. I don't want to sound dramatic. I sound like the guy in the towel with the blood on his face. But, yeah. So this is what I want to see. I want to see ETH move off this area now. Otherwise, if it does move to this lower region, it means these alts are bleeding. ETH from here to 1820 means alts are getting hurt. So just make sure you are practicing risk management and you are watching your levels, and watch your next levels carefully. Okay, there is a school cohort tonight. Sheldon is live. I'm assuming, Bruce, you're involved in that. David might be involved in that.
2 hours from now.
Good luck with that tonight. And we're going to do it all over again tomorrow. Don't be too bearish. Be medium bearish. Look for levels. Remember, in a bull market, if we get these pullbacks, it's actually a gift. So don't be too upset about it. Look for your good areas. Let me find I gotta find my ending screen. Okay, guys. See you tomorrow. Bruce, Dave, thank you.
Thanks.